I share a story with you that, when my father took my mother out on their first date, he actually took her squirrel hunting. And it wasn't this particular gun they went squirrel hunting with. They had a 1952 Marlin 39a that he took out, and they went squirrel hunting. And when I got to be older, I asked my mom how many squirrels they got, and actually she said they didn't see any squirrels at all that day. So. This gun, has been around for such a long time, and this particular gun is a 1957, and it has a solid walnut stock on it, and the scope is a Bushnell 3x9, and the barrel is 24 inches long, and of course it shoots 22 long rifle ammunition. I've hunted squirrel with this with my father ever since I was a young boy, and I have a lot of fond memories with this gun, and I don't think I could give it up for another gun because I've just had so many memories with it. And you want to get a headshot with a squirrel. I feel like I want to be like sporting when I hunt squirrel or pheasant or anything, and I want to be accurate and not do a body shot on a squirrel. And also I like to use 40 grain, and that's what I would recommend for squirrel hunting if you're trying to decide if you should use a 36 grain or a stinger at 1640 feet per second. And really you don't want anything too fast, because when you hunt squirrel, they're clinging on to the branches of the trees or limbs, and they've got long nails and they can really grip. So you want something with some punch to it. I'm going to be trying 3 different types of ammo today. I've got the Federal at 1200 feet per second. And of course this is all long rifle ammunition. This is 40 grain. And I got some CCI. We've had some good luck with CCI. They seem to be pretty consistent. And also this is 40 grains, and this is a little over, I think it's like 1235 or 1240 feet per second. And we got some Winchester here too, and these are 40 grain and a little over 1200 feet per second. So, like all this 22 long rifle I'm going to shoot today are all 40 grain. And that'll give me an apples to apples comparison with each one. Now the feet per second might be off just a little bit for each one. Anyway, we're set up here at the 50-yard range today, and that's what the manufacturer Bushnell recommends for sighting in the scope. So that's the distance we'll be sighting it in. Now squirrel hunting, you want to, in the max amount of yardage that you're going to be shooting for squirrels is going to be around 35 yards. So 50 yards will be plenty. And if you're closer than 50 yards, say 25 yards, you might have to aim just a little bit lower for the squirrel. Not that much lower, maybe a 1/4 inch, because that bullet is still going to be rising. Okay, so what I have here to start with, I loaded 15 of the CCI 40 grain 1235 feet per second. And we got a chronograph set up here. Okay, so let's load one in there. There we go. All right. So you want to keep your finger outside the trigger guard until you're ready to shoot, because Alright, this doesn't have a safety on it. Alright, but it's a good idea to do it anyway. So let's go ahead and raise that up a little bit. Alright. This does have a bullet drop compensator on it, so if you sight it in for 50 yards, your first dot below the crosshairs is going to be for 75 yards, and then the next one 100, and then 125 after that. Alright, but like I said earlier, when you're squirrel hunting, and that's what I'm going to be doing with this rifle, you're going to be shooting within around 35 yards. I'll fire 5 and then look through the spotting scope and see how I did. Center bullseye and the top target. Chronograph is reading with the CCI 40 grain 1235. It's reading at 15 feet away from the muzzle 1122. Okay. Well, let's keep firing a little bit more here. Okay, see how nice those CCI cycle through? Okay, let's take a look. So they're pretty consistent on the chronograph, and it looks like 1122 again feet per second at about 15 feet away. Okay, with the spotting scope, I'm only seeing 3 around the bullseye right now. But let's go ahead and finish firing. We've got 10 more of CCI. Alright, I'm going to let it down just a hair. Eight more to go. Still getting 1122 feet per second here. I got 1090 feet per second there. $11.48 feet per second. $10.94. When you squeeze that trigger, you want it to surprise you. That was 1122 feet per second. That was 1122. Oh, so that was 15 rounds with the CCI 40 grain at 1235 feet per second. So I could raise it up one click. I don't want to raise it up too much because it seems like it's pretty close. Okay, let's go up one click. That's it. All right. So let's go over what it measured 4 of them that I have here on the screen. And it looks like the first one was 1090, 1148, 1094, and 1122 feet per second. Okay. That was with the CCI 40 grain. So let's go ahead and load the Federal. Shoot it at a different place than the target. So these are, the Federal are 40 grain at 1200 feet per second out of the muzzle. And we're going to switch to the Federal 40 grain, 1200 feet per second. These are Federal 40 grain, 1200 feet per second. And I raised up the scope just one click. Okay, let's shoot at that top target, but let's go over to the top right bullseye on that top target. So top right corner. There we go. So that's a smaller bullseye. Let's give it a try. I'll fire 3 and see. Check the spotting scope. Again, these are the Federal 40 grain, 1200 feet per second, and I didn't get a reading on that at all. So I got a reading on the chronograph and it's 1153 feet per second. Let's make sure I'm on 9 power. This is 50 yards. They cycle nice too. They cycle just as well as the CCI. $11.53 feet per second. Raise it up just a tad. $11.40 feet per second. $11.02 feet per second. That was the same, 1102. From what I'm seeing in the spotting scope, they're a little bit over to the right, and if you look at the CCI, most of those are under the bullseye in the center of the target, and there wasn't very many over to the right, but it seemed like the Federal were shooting more to the right. So let's go to that top left corner of that top target, and let's shoot the Winchester now. Okay, so we're switching over to the Winchester, and these are 40 grain, 1280 feet per second. All right. All right, so let's switch to we're going to stay on the top target, but we're going to go over and switch to the, see, that Winchester didn't cycle very nice. Okay, we're going to stay on the same target, but we're going to move over to the top left corner of the top target. Okay, so here we go. Okay. See how the Winchester hang up? Well, let's shoot 3 and then check the spotting scope. I errored out on the chronograph. We'll try it again here. (1184 feet per second). (1194 per second). Okay, let's take a look at the spotting scope. So 1194 feet per second for the Winchester 40 grain hollow point. Okay. Now every gun is going to be different, how they're going to cycle. You know, get rid of the spent cases and then put in the next one. So you just have to experiment around, but right now I don't think this gun likes the Winchester. I'm going to come down a little bit. There we go. That might have pulled, I'm not sure. That was 1214 feet per second with that one. (1202 feet per second). Let's shoot another couple. (1204 again. Once more, and we'll check the spotting scope here. Okay. (1200 feet per second). See how that hung up when I went to cycle it through? 1169 feet per second. See it hang up? So you just have to go back. There it goes. Now. 1169 feet per second. 1169 feet per second. $11.69 again. I don't know, the Winchester are grouping better, I have to admit it. Oh, the chronograph that I have is a Codwell. They're, at the time this video is being made, they're like 99 bucks. You can get them. But, you know, my friend John Bowser that appears on some of these videos, he's had a lot of luck with these CCI. But, you know, that's his gun too, so every gun's going to be different, what they like. But the only thing I don't like about the Winchester is how they cycle through. And they just seem to hang up more. So, these are CCI. And then after I raised it up with the Federal, raised the scope up one click, see how the CCI are still shooting below? Still getting some, oh, got a wild shot right there too. But they're all grouping low. So if we look at the Winchester, you know, say this would be a squirrel's head right here. I'd probably have a better chance with either the Federal. The Federal just shooting slightly to the right, but the Winchester seem to be grouping better. They just don't cycle as nice. So the CCI, and it could be because these are 1235 and these are 1280 and these are 1200. So I don't know. Let's try the Winchester in this one. So top target, bottom left corner of that top target. Here we go. You know, I'm thinking that they might be hanging up because they're hollow points. So that could be the reason, because the other two are not hollow points. We'll fire another one, then check the spotting scope. Let's see how that looks. We're going to raise the crosshairs just a little bit, not much. bottom target. Right in the center of that bullseye. All right, here we go. Lower it a little bit more. Winchester, hollow point, 40 grain, 1280 feet per second. I saw that right on that about 2 o'clock, but it's still in the bullseye. So it's shooting a little high, isn't it? There we go. A little bit lower. Shooting just slightly to the left. Or to the right, I'm sorry. To the right. Now. Not bad though. Let's go 1 click over to the left. Okay, there's 1 click over to the left. I'm going to put the crosshairs right in the middle of that bullseye. Well, went over to the left a little bit. That was pretty much dead center there. He's shooting a big bore down there, so I'm going to put on these muffs here. That might shot clear to the left there. Not sure. That's it. So, I only had one that went clear to the left there. These are the Winchester hollow point. I shot 15. And these are 40 grain hollow point 1280. So I only had one wild shot over here to the left, slightly over to the right here, but they all seem to be grouping in the center of the bullseye. So these are the shells I'm going to use for squirrel hunting. I'm not crazy about how they cycle through the lever action, but it just could be because they're hollow points, the only reason why they're hanging up. Or so you just have to take your pocket knife with you and use that if you get a shell, but you seem to be doing the best. So anyway, let's go over how we did today, and I think from the results that you could see, I think the Winchester proved out to be the best, even though at first I was skeptical about this. And the only reason was I was skeptical, it just doesn't cycle nice in this gun. But you know, if you're going to go hunting, you always want to carry a pocket knife with you. And all I did here was, if it got stuck here going into the chamber, all I did was take the tip of the blade and just push down on the point of the bullet, and it went in fine. So I would suggest carrying a pocket knife. But you know, if you're at the range and all you have is a chamber flag, then all you got to do is take the soft end of that and just push it down with that. But that seemed to solve the problem. But you know, I like the Federal. They're only 1,200 feet per second. And when you're squirrel hunting, you don't want a fast one like a Stinger. Don't use a Stinger because they're at like 1640 feet per second. So I would stick with a slower bullet. You want more punch to knock that squirrel out of the tree. Okay. Now a hollow point, I don't know if it's really going to make a difference. It's not going to hurt to use a hollow point. I like the way the CCI cycled through the gun. My friend John Bowser, that's on these videos with me, he loves these CCI. They work fine in both of his guns. His Savage 22, it works great, and also his Winchester M190 semi-automatic, the CCI work real good too. And I was hoping that this gun would be accurate with the CCI, but actually it's the Winchester in this particular gun, the Marlin 39a. So, but anyway, I hope I helped you out. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, share the video with your friends, and also hit that like button if I helped you out. I really appreciate it, but thanks again for watching. And also, I don't want to hit that small tree in front of me. There's twigs in the way. Now again, I'm going to be aiming 1/4 inch lower than what I want the actual bullet to hit. There he is right there. But anyway, I think this squirrel was under 50 yards. And so the scope is sighted in at 50. And I know I'm going to have a bit of a bullet rise. And so what I did is I aimed about 1/4 inch lower, like around just a little bit lower than the jawbone of the squirrel. I put the crosshairs on his lower jawbone, hoping that it would hit him in the middle of the side of the head.